I was born into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My ancestors believed in it enough to sacrifice everything for the church. They told stories to their children about times that God answered their prayers. They performed performed miracles in their lives or guided them for good. And those stories are part of my cultural DNA. They're stories that literally shaped my life. One of the reasons that I believe in the Jesus Christ and that I believe in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the testimony of my ancestors. Either Jesus Christ lives and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is God's church, or my ancestors were lying or deceived. If I chose not to believe, I would have to find a way to plausibly reject their testimonies and a way to convince myself that they didn't experience the things that they said that they experienced, that they claimed to have experienced. One of those experiences is the conversion of my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Sanford Porter, so 4 greats. Sanford Porter didn't believe in God, an afterlife, or in the soul. He described himself as an infidel, and he believed that he could prove all religions wrong. He knew the Bible well, and he used that knowledge to argue against the religious beliefs of his co-workers, townspeople, and parents. And then his father died, and that caused Sanford to question everything that he thought he knew. He fell into an existential crisis. In his autobiography, he writes, "I got so I could neither eat, drink, nor sleep. I would spread my arms and raise my hands on high, crying aloud, 'O gracious God, if there be a God, show me the way, the right way.' All day I would walk in the barn, and all night in the house. I spoke to no one, nor they to me, not even my wife and children. I guess they thought I was stark mad, and I doubted my own senses. I did not eat, drink, nor sleep for 3 days and nights, and was neither hungry, dry, nor sleepy. The last night there came a voice, clear, audible, and distinct. 'There is a God, and he has known the desires of your heart this number of years. I will instruct you 3 times this night the way that is right, that you need never again doubt, and shall be satisfied in your mind concerning God.'" So Sanford's unbelief and his existential crisis were not secrets at the time. This was during a time period in America's history called the Second Great Awakening, and religious conversations and debates were very common. And Sanford had had a conversation earlier that day with a couple of preachers, and he thought that one of them might be trying to play a trick on him. And so he was in a barn when he heard this voice, and he suspected that someone could be hidden in a barrel or speaking through some crack in the door. And so he grabbed a cudgel and he searched the barn where he heard the voice, and he didn't find anyone. He ran outside and looked around. Snow had recently fallen and he didn't see anyone else's footprints around the building. He searched the barn again and found no one. Eventually Sanford went to bed, and during the night he dreamed that an angel appeared to him and showed him the spirit world. The angel taught him about God, the afterlife, and religion. There was those 3 times the angel taught him about those things, like the voice promised. His autobiography describes what happened the next morning. It says, "I told my wife during the day some of the things that I had seen and heard, and she seemed interested. But," she said, "but it may have only been a dream, and you know that you've laughed at dreams, even told people that if a dog could talk, he would likely tell us beautiful dreams as any person, and this may be nothing more than an ordinary dream of an overwrought mind." But the voice in the dream convinced Sanford. That's the end of the quote. But the voice in the dream convinced Sanford is me. Sanford started telling people in town about his vision. Sanford progressed in his faith. Certain memories from his childhood gained importance for him. He remembered a time as a boy in which he saw a friend's spirit who had recently died. And he remembered a dream of heaven that he had had when he was around the age of 13. So these were memories of things that he had ignored or explained away before, but now they were spiritually significant to him. Sanford also had subsequent visions, often involving individuals who died. Sometime later, he met missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The doctrines that the missionaries explained coincided exactly with what the angel had told Sanford in his dream vision. Sanford searched the Book of Mormon and he agreed with its teachings as well, and so Sanford joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah. So that's just one example of my ancestors' conversions. Maybe one of the more fantastical ones where he's actually seeing visions and hearing voices, but it's one example. And Sanford Porter's story, that was a story that I heard as a kid growing up, and a collection. If you hear enough of those stories growing up, you realize that God does talk to people and he interacts with people. And that's something that I believe now. And I have since had experiences that I feel like were God speaking to me or interacting with me, that I tell to my children.